10 years. It's been quite some time. But we do have someone we do want to bring in too as we head into the Salem softball room for Coach Michael Thorpe of the Salem Quakers. And boy, oh boy, Coach, I mean, I think that must have been some crazy trip. It's got your hair running wild.
Oh, I lost you.
Looks like
I still got my Tennessee hair on, see? Girls don't, they dared me to wear it on the next time I was on here, so we don't back down at Salem, right?
No, it doesn't look like it, Coach. It looks like you guys drove your hair crazy on this whole trip. Let's start there too. I mean, you were telling me it was a great trip. You have some fun stories to tell from this. Let's go into this Tennessee trip and what made it so fun.
All right, the best story I think was the bear story. The girls had their cabin, and there was a 5-foot stuffed bear there, a little bit taller than that because I looked eye to eye with it. But I was probably about 5'2". But anyway, they were scaring everybody by placing it in each other's showers, and all over the place. This bear would show up and just scare everybody when they opened doors and things. So the last night, it was about almost 2 a.m, and we park in an RV out in front of their cabin, the girls' cabin. So I get a phone call, and I hear a bunch of cackling, and there's girls on the porch taking pictures, and I'm like, hey, they put that bear outside my door. So, I'm going to play along with it a little. And then I get a phone call, there's a real bear outside. Don't step outside your RV. So I get on the ground in the RV. I crawl to the front. I'm going to run around the front and scare the girls because I know they're playing a prank on me. Here, there's 4 live bears outside my RV, and they're feeding them from the deck safely, throwing bananas and all kinds of other stuff. Babies are coming up, whatever. And luckily, I didn't step out of the RV because they would have seen how fast I really was and would have been made for a good YouTube video. That's for sure.
And then just to talk about that too with the stuffed bears. I mean, Coach. I mean, that's one of those. I saw the video that you sent too, and we need to get this swirling on socials too. It was great too. And I believe you sent the picture as well. I mean, talking about this experience though. I feel like this is what when we talk to a lot of coaches in the area that go on these trips to the Myrtles, to the Tennessees, I feel like the games become almost secondary at that point. And this is the reason why the team's here. And these are the moments you kind of look forward to. And then the games, obviously, they're getting better, trying to get through the season. But it feels like these kind of trips, these are the moments that they're meant for.
Exactly. Yeah, we always say softball was our excuse to get together down there, but it's all business, of course, when we play. So there was one game where we didn't quite play the way we wanted, and we had to toss that right in the rearview mirror so we can enjoy the evening, get back to it the next day, and attempt to win. The pursuit of winning is fun too. I told them, sometimes it don't go your way, but just that pursuit together, hopefully we'll draw some more W's down the line. But I will say, I think we're the first team in Salem history in any sport to beat a team from Maine.
And there's more accomplishments for this team. I mean, we got some great teams all around here too, Coach. And you got some great players too showing out too. Freshman Channing Toy, you said, leading the team with a 4.29 average. And I mean, I just want to hint on this, and I want to just highlight this. From freshman play, we're seeing a lot of freshmen stepping up too. And just in your coaching experience, what are you starting to see from just younger, talented girls coming up through the ranks?
In our regard, some of them are traveling earlier, which is helping. Channing, she had her first year of travel, and her sister, Chase, there's no secret why they're the top 2 batting averages right now. There are only 2 girls that work year round, and that shows because they've been through the fire all year. Channing's just a student of the game. I mean, it's softball 24/7 for the Toy sisters, and that is a little unique to our program. So we relish it. And, there's leadership from the freshman position, and even her sister, the junior. Both of them are leaders in the way they carry themselves and their passion for the game.
I believe we've had Riley Troy on the show as well, too. You wanted to highlight the 5 wins, too, on the 5-7 season so far. And, of course, still early in the season and still a lot of softball left to be played. But Riley's responsible for your 5 wins in the circle. And just talk about her pitching influence and how big she's been at the start of the season.
You'll never tell the score by Riley. We could be down 10 or up 10, and her demeanor's the same way. She doesn't she leads in the circle. She doesn't blame others, things like that. I could throw her out there. She'll say, hey, I'm a little tired, but I got you, and I constantly going back to her, but she'll never not want in a game. So sometimes I have to protect her from herself in that regard, but that's what you want. A competitor that's willing to, go out every single night if you asked her to, and give you everything she's got. And the girls follow that leadership of her and Jenna McClish in center field there.
And talking about this team too, and just some of the upcoming games now that you have coming out of the trip, and a lot of teams after these spring break trips, it seems like conference play just really starts hitting at full blow. But you guys have kind of been playing in your conference before that too. But what are some games coming up that you're excited for the girls to get out there and compete against?
Howland tonight, if we're supposed to get it in. I mean, they're a team that beat us 20-10 last year. I know they're a solid program. There's bats 1 through 9. So I want to see how we match up there. Of course, West Branch is always circled. They know it's circled. I mean, I've heard that through the game and the references to the green team from the crowd. So it's a lot of fun with that rivalry, of course. And each time we play a team the second time, we're looking to improve. Again, I'm not going back to just that we have 2 travel ball players, but the more we play, I feel the better we get. And every team's probably that way, but I think we needed a little more just because they're not playing all year. So, second half, they're a lot more experienced. So those second times we play those conference games, I want to see how we line up compared to the first time if it didn't go our way, or even if it did go our way, if we were able to learn from it and do better. And historically, we've done better in the second game of all conference games the last 8 years.
Does a trip like this come as almost perfect timing too in the season where you're trying to get these freshmen and these newer girls acclimated to the team and acclimated to the varsity level of softball? Does this trip kind of come at the right time for you guys?
It 100% comes at the right time. I mean, to share Easter together, we went to a sunrise service just to get our faith involved with it a little for those that wanted to go. I mean, to watch that sunrise service over the mountain, and there was a cross in the sky and the clouds, and just to share in all that and the whole trip in general. When they come back, there's a special bond. The only thing we try to neglect from that is sometimes there's a little letdown because of the emotions going to the trip so hard. So that's our job as coaches. I already sat the girls down a little on the way home and told them that's coming. That's going to come those first 3-4 days. You're going to feel like you're still there. And we put so much into it that I think it recharges the batteries, at least physically and mentally, if you allow it.
Do you think that the way the last couple of seasons have kind of played out with just the way all teams have to suffer through the pandemic going on, the COVID year, the year that wasn't rather, do you think all the emotions that were kind of pent up from those years are kind of getting exploited in these kind of years now where we're seeing things open up? We're seeing these trips, the trips to Myrtle, the trip to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, all these things are starting to open up again. Do you think it's kind of a culmination of these last couple of years of teams just wanting to get back out there?
You're 100% right. I imagine the other teams will say the same thing. I mean, they're not going to take this trip for granted. Like, oh, we'll go again next year, because you never know. So they're living each year. I mean, this year starting that like this is going to be it. You never know next year. And then for the seniors, there is no next year. They missed out on the last 2 because we went 18 and 19. So even things like, we went go-karting after Easter on the Easter morning, and we walked by some of these UTVs, those big souped up dune buggy things. And we looked over at the seniors, and I seen their eyes light up. We're like, hey, let's go get it. So we went up the mountain, cruised the strip, radio blasting, singing, having a good time, like it was our last time going. And for them, it is. But in reference to like COVID, you're thinking, these girls, this could be the last trip. We don't know what the future holds. So, after the games were over, it's live it like it's your last trip. And then we'll plan on next year too.
Coach, I've been asking a lot of coaches that come on this question, and I kind of want to extend the question to you just to kind of see what culture and everything is with it. What does your ideal dugout look like?
Loud leaders, quiet leaders, everybody on the same page, up against the fence, pulling for one another genuinely. I've seen it before. We took 25 girls down there, no drama. The drama's been well in we've done a great job since we've been there, and that's a reference to the players herself. You got 25 girls down there, and we didn't have any drama. That I noted. I'm sure there was things that happened. I think our biggest fight was over the last homemade meatball, and that was about the only drama we brought back. So even in the dugout all the way through the year, this trip will make them closer, but the dugout itself, and we got girls that don't say a word. Channing Toy may say one word a year. This is her freshman year, but the way she carries herself in her sister, say everything you need to know. And then you have your vocal leaders, your McClishes. We have a good balance of that. And now it's time to get to winning.
doubling down on that and just going into, I guess, that sort of realm now. And no doubt that, I mean, you guys have gotten wins. You guys are in a good spot, I think, right now at I believe 5-7 going into tonight. So you guys are at that good spot right now. But in saying that too, we know that every kind of team goes through their up years, their down years. It feels like every team does. But I feel like the best of the best coaches are still able to define success outside of just the wins and losses. So in saying that, I feel like it's a word that has a definition, but it has a definition that means something different to each coach. So in saying that, what does success look like to you? And I'll leave you with it. I'll leave this question with you too. This will be our last one.
Well, it's like girls come back this week. We had 3 alumni show up before our trip, I should say. We had an alumni show up in Tennessee, Bailey Thorne and her family. To know that, this program means so much to them, and that these girls, it'll mean that much now and for the rest of their life. I mean, I told them we're winners every time we're together, and we're together for the rest of our life. So in that regards, we're winners. I mean, we still want to win on the field. We want to continue to get better. We got to put in the work, but we're winners no matter what at the end of the season.
As I mean, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Salem athletes are always incredible too. You guys have a great group of girls over there. I know they're making your hair grow wild right now, Coach, but I'm sure you wouldn't have it any other way either.
That's it. Rock on.
Yes. Coach Michael Thorpe, I thank you so much for your time. We wish you the best of luck for the remaining season too, and we look forward to talking some Quaker softball again real soon.
Hey, I love those lady Quakers. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. As Michael Thorpe chimes in from the Salem Quaker softball team.